Hi, welcome to another episode of Badger Nerdworks Presents We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Colin.
And today we watched Guardians.
That was weird.
Yeah, this is a Russian action superhero movie.
By Shout?
A Shout. Yeah. It's it was really cool. This is one of those movies that you see in a red box next to like Guardians of the Galaxy to confuse like old ladies into like getting it for like their teenage kids, right? And traditionally these movies have like fairly low cheesy budgets, you know.
Freeze instead of Frozen. It's awful.
Yeah. There's always been these kind of knockoff movies that are meant to appeal to you. This one stands out because it's kind of works.
Kind of good. It isn't fantastic.
No.
And it's really lame, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, this is a totally cheese-tastic movie. It takes place in Russia where they've been doing all this genetic research, so they have all these
did
weird
Captain America experiments, but instead they made different kinds of heroes, like Bear Man.
Yeah, a guy who turns into a bear.
Invisible Woman.
Yeah, but only when she's in water. So she has to be like in the rain or submersed. Or, you know,
seems limited.
Yeah. I mean, it really seems like a weird thing to shoot for.
Yeah.
But then they have a guy who like moves rocks with his mind, and he can kind of do like a thing where he like encases himself in rocks and can like punch real hard.
He reminded me a lot of Earthbenders from Avatar.
Right. No, that's very much how it works. But
he's way better than the terrible movie that Shyamalan did. Was it Shyamalan?
Yeah. That's
the horrible movie.
Yeah, the horrible Avatar movie. But that's even fair to say is that the special effects are about on par with that. They're not too bad.
They're better than that.
They use them. They use what they know what they have, and they use it well. And I think that really works for this movie. Like. One of the cooler characters is their speedster ninja. Was these big, ridiculous swords that won't work at all.
They're like half moon
But he just like teleports where he needs to be, and the guy like and falls to the ground. They're killing all these. The bad guy is the head genetic researcher who had like helped make them all. Back at the end of World War II.
Guy. It's his rival.
Oh, that's right, his rival
was into like the tech division,
but then he gets real into
he tried to sabotage them, and he's turned
Russian
into
Bane.
One of them.
He's Russian Bane. He's like super smart, and he's this huge giant ripped dude who are like,
and he has like the arm gauntlets of the Shocker.
Yeah, he does, and he can control robots. That's like his mutant power. With this thing cleverly named, his like tech power, whatever his upgrade is. I guess he's like kind of Module 1, and then the very exciting end of world weapon Module 2. like, oh, did that just not translate well? Maybe that's more intimidating and like Russian.
I feel like it was just like military standard.
Right. But I know it's so funny because this movie rips off so many different things, and like he's totally Bane. He even breaks the one guy's back over his knee. Yeah, the rock guy. He just like drops him on his knees, all like, "I have crushed you, and you are defeated." Because like he's like
and he captures everybody else, but he just leaves him on the ground.
Yeah, he just wanted to break that one guy's back.
It's like, I'll capture you and you and you and you. I break your back and leave you on the ground. Goodbye.
Yeah, but as the movie escalates, all your little hero guys get better, and like that's cool. The rock guy gets like a whip, and the girl can just turn invisible whenever, which is what she needed at the beginning.
Yeah.
The bear guy, they just give him this backpack that has like a minigun and like a rocket launcher on it, and it just responds to his instincts because he gets all animal and feral, so it just shoots automatically for him when he goes into full bear mode, which was exactly what it sounds like. Drop. He just turns into a bear. He's just straight up a bear.
That was a hilarious moment when he brought it up, because it was a very serious, dramatic moment where he was talking like, when I become a bear, like, sometimes I'm afraid that I'll lose control forever and just be a bear forever. And especially when I go full bear mode, and it's the first you've heard anyone say anything about that.
When he goes in, and it's just he turns into a bear. And then he's just a bear with a Gatling gun on its back. It's, like, smart enough to, like, roam around a battlefield.
Right after he says that, they give him a Gatling gun.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I lose total control. They're like, we should put a Gatling gun on your back. That's what it should do. It should just respond instinctually. So it has no control fire whatsoever. But it works out for him. And like that's what works for this movie. Bad guy has an endless horde of clone soldiers, which, it's fun to...
There.
Yeah, and like they look fine, and they're fun to watch get torn apart in droves. Like, every time the good guys show up, they all get to beat up a group of them. Show off their new stuff.
They bleed white blood, so they might be like cyborg clones?
They're like some kind of cyborg clones.
Cyborg clones.
But I don't know what that gets you out of, like, legalistically. But then this movie comes to this, like, real point where the end guy, the bad guy's real purpose is to build this great big antenna and control an old Russian
900-foot antenna.
Yeah. And then the math of that did not make sense to me at all.
You need
what they were calculating
of 6.
No, because like they just
said that you needed a minimum of a 500
they say
meter
they get
tower.
They say they get it.
They said that he was taking this 300 meter tower plus another tower that makes 900 meters, and I'm like, you could just use the 600 meter one.
Like I said, I'm not going to get into the math of it, but that's the least of it. If you get caught up on their math was probably wrong, then you're not going to have any fun with this movie whatsoever. Because, yes, it was wrong. But no, he has to go, so he tears over a big tower and puts it on top of another, like, inside this other big tower structure, and they, like, have it all hoisted up by, like, all his machines he's controlling, which looks pretty cool. The CGI on it isn't too bad, like, it's not
actually
like,
pretty neat.
They had a good vision. It's very stylized, so like the human characters are dressed very cartoonish, so like the bright colors of like the animation stuff like really work. And it's pretty fun. So they get in there, but like of course they can't beat the end guy, which like brings us to like the end of this movie where of course the third act has this thing where they decide, they can all combine their powers, and they were always scared to tell them that because if like the rock guy got his strength like fully boost, he could like accidentally break the planet in half. So like, this is so dangerous, it could not just kill you, it could kill everybody. And they can't get to the
more powers that they combine, the stronger it becomes. So I was expecting the moment this dropped that we were going to get invisible, super fast rock bending bear people.
Right.
Or like they would all put it into one of them, and one of them would just become that.
Right. That would be what that means. But no. They function just summon like a key blast. Like you put them all together, and they become like a big old rocket, and it just shot this big orb that just kills the end guy and crushes his whole thing. They're like,
his thing.
We can't beat it, but if we all touch, we can just fire this thing out there that just devastates him, completely leveling the city.
That was out of left field.
Yeah. You're like, oh man, and is that even like better? Like, I think they could just done that. Like, kind of, they've just
couldn't rock guy like
just breaking the whole city was like. Yeah, I know. Like, it seems like there was like any number of ways less destructive than that to do that, but I guess it's the big ending they want, where they're like, look out, they came together and won.
We've made this lens flare, layered it like 30 times, and turned it into a key blast.
Okay, but like once again though, I feel like if you start ragging on this movie because it uses kind of cheap mechanics to move itself along, you're not going to have any fun. Because the fun of this movie is like the character designs and like the bunch of little neat stuff. Like we were talking about, they have these crazy... The tanks that the Russians start off testing the beginning of the movie with.
Like three-legged spider tanks.
Yeah, but they're three-legged, so like they move real cool and like they seem real nimble.
Miniguns and
miniguns
launchers.
And like 20 millimeters cannons. Like they're kind of like nimble, and then like they go to get shot at, and one like dodges off to the side by turning its legs into this little cyclone wheel and like wheeling off to the side like a few steps and then returning fire. And it's like,
it's hilarious how they cartwheel around.
Yeah, and then they cartwheel around, and it's totally fun to watch. And you're like, oh, that's neat. That's pretty neat. And it was the little attention to detail with stuff like that. Like they clearly were not a big budget movie.
Oh no.
but they had like real big budget ideas, and they were like, we're willing to sacrifice, or we're going to go high cheese and just accept the limitations of how we had to fudge this to get it to like look as best as we could, and like but I thought they spent their money well.
Yeah.
I thought that it looks real high budget for as low budget as it is, and it's a lot of fun. Like, as stupid as this movie is, and like everyone's motivation is ridiculously base and simplistic and like kind of a pain to listen to, it's fun to watch because right after they're done with it, they blow up a bunch of dudes. Like,
yeah, and then they're like, we'll be friends forever. They say that to each other and to the one general lady that brought them together. Now, a bit of context. All of them have their superpowers, except for that lady's a person. But along with their general superpowers, they also stop aging. They're all eternally young.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lest you forget, these things are all immortal, so they can have like stupid long backstories that don't make any sense. And you're like, oh, really? And I'm like, man, I could go for a sequel.
I could go for a new one with more super weirdos.
Yeah, something has changed inside them because they've merged their power. Oh, and then maybe we will get our super rock bear, speedster, invisible person, which would suck actually, because it could be actually that's really hilarious because it's invisible, so you never get to see it. It just like devastates things, and we just see the devastation like it's on screen. Like, that's actually a little bit brilliant. You guys should do that. Save you a fortune.
Super fast, everything in the area just explodes, and then a rock hits a guy.
You know what's going on. You could show like an outline of it on like a computer screen for a minute. Like that's what it should look like.
Do the heat vision view for a moment, and it's just like, what is that?
So you don't have to get any kind of detail in there. Zero res animation on this thing. But yeah, no, it'd be worth doing because this movie is a lot of fun, and it's one of those ones I normally...
And the invisibility power is kind of useless against who they were fighting. Everyone they were fighting had heat vision. Every single one of them. Like, she walked in and snuck in, and
for the
all
end
of
guy.
them clearly... Yeah, except for the boss.
Except for the boss. He doesn't like to wear things on his face. He's got a real ugly face he likes to show off.
But
so
like,
he doesn't
it
wear
shows you when she first is
attachments.
sneaking into their group in the rain, they all see her. We see them all see her, and they just ignore her till she gets to the trap location.
Right,
They're just like, okay, she thinks that she's sneaking.
Because it's not even that good of invisibility. You can kind of see she's there. It's like Predator-esque, like... But yeah. That's all right. Once again, if you don't love it for the cheese, live for the cheese.
She was the only one who didn't belong on that team. Had almost no reason to be there. So the Guardians, not nearly as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, but still a pretty good ride.
Clearly a ripoff designed to distract old ladies into thinking it's Guardians of the Galaxy, but nonetheless their kids will be delighted because they'll be one of those weird kids that's like, oh yeah, no, I totally saw that when my grandma got confused as a kid too. And it'll be like a good story to share. Like,
there's no dance battle to save the universe, but there is a dance number.
And most importantly, a bear with a minigun.
Bear with a minigun.
Well, thanks for coming and hanging out, watching this movie with us.
Have a lovely day. Peace.
Thanks for watching another episode of Badger Nerdworks Presents We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Colin.
Be sure you like, subscribe, and share. Give us comments down below. We'd love to hear what you think. Tell us what you thought of the movie. Come and hang out with us again. Hit the bell icon for notifications when we come out with new videos. Bye.
Peace.